Hello everyone. In this video, we will learn about process control block. Why it is known as process control block? First is a block. So it contains some information. So block means it stores some information. So here control. So that is used to control the process. So that is why it is called process control block. Let us see the definition of process control block. A process control block is a data structure maintained by the operating system for every process. Okay, let me already we have discussed about what is a process, isn't it? So what is a process? Yes. See, if we write a computer program in a text file, when we execute this program, it becomes a process. So which is present in the main memory. Yes. So once a program is loaded to a memory and then it becomes a process. Example, we write a C program. Imagine we write a C program. Okay. Say for example it is sample.c. Yes. So this program will be given to the compiler. Yes. So your program name is sample.c and it's given to the compiler. So what compiler will do? It will convert the high level language to the low level language. So high level language is the program which is written in the C program, that is high level language. Okay, so that is supposed to be converted into low level language. So low level language is nothing but it's a machine language. Yes, now operating system task is not to take high level language program and execute on machine. So before that, it should be converted into a machine language. Okay. So that the operating system will understand. Now the compiler convert that sample.c program into sample.out. So this program is generally reside in the secondary memory. It is not yet executed till now. So now operating system will take that program and put it in the main memory and start executing it. So once it puts in the main memory, it creates a data structure. And now that is called process. So after executing a program, we are supposed to create a process. Suppose if different processes are coming, okay, say for example P1, P2, P3 are the different process. Yes, now here the P1 and P2 will be maintained in the PCB. So all this the process, all the related information about this process will be maintained in this PCB, that is process control block, everything. So this is the place where information about the process will be stored. Okay, so here each process, it has its own identification number. If you say process P1, it has one unique identification number. The same way for P2, it has some unique identification number. So with the ID, that is the PCB, it that contains about the information about individual process. See, now PCB identified by an integer, that is process identification. So this PCB is used to identify each process. So each process that contains an identification number. Why it contains? So that the PCB can be able to identify which process is executing currently. Yes. Next. PCB keeps all the information needed to keep track of a process. So which means this process control block stores all the information of a process in the PCB. So PCB is maintained for the process throughout its lifetime and it deletes once the process terminates. So once the process is created, which means the PCB is created, once the process is terminated, the PCB is removed. So once it gets exited, then PCB is removed. Next we'll see process control block contains. So the information related to the process will be stored in the process control block. So what are the informations are related to the particular process will be stored in this PCB. What actually PCB contains? It has different phases, which means it stores the information regarding the process. Okay, so what are all the informations? Okay, let us see one by one. So the various informations are process states, process ID, pointer, program counter, register, CPU scheduling, memory unit, accounting information and IO status. So these are all the related process informations are stored in the PCB. Okay, so let me start with the process state first. So this process state indicates the current state of the process. So whether it is running state or in the ready state, the previous class itself we discussed. Yes, so the current status of the process. That is nothing but what's the current status, whether it has been created or it is in the running state or in the ready state or in the waiting state or in the termination state. So here this process state is used to indicate that the current state of the process, whether it is running, whether it is ready state, whether it is in waiting state or termination state. Next is process ID. So this is a unique identification for each of the process in the operating system. So each process is represented by a unique ID number. So each process has its own unique ID number. The next information, pointer. Yes, this information, the pointer information will be stored in the PCB. Okay. The pointer to parent process, address to the parent process. So means if the process is created by another process, then the pointer of this process is pointed to the parent process. The next information is program counter. So program counter is a pointer to the address of the next instruction to be executed for this process. So which means which instruction is to be executed next in the process? As we already studied that a process is a program in execution. When the process is being executed, the lines of instructions, the lines of codes will be executed line by line. So when it is being executed, this program counter tells the address of the next instruction to be executed. So this program counter tells the next instructions to be executed. Next is CPU register. So here the CPU register is used to store for execution. So which means storing the data. We use this CPU register. So only for the temporary storage we are using this CPU register. Okay. It tells us which register is used for a particular process. So the different kind of registers like index registers, stack pointers, general purpose registers are used. Okay. So this CPU register is used for storing for execution. Okay, so only for the temporary storage. The next is CPU scheduling information. So this CPU scheduling information decides the process priority. Yes, it decides the process priority that will be stored in CPU scheduling. As far as operating system is concerned, scheduling is the most important concept. So here briefly I'll explain. Scheduling determines which process is to be executed first, or the order in which the process is to be executed. So for that some algorithms are used. Okay, so later we'll discuss the later chapter. The next information stored in the PCB is memory management information. It includes the information of page, tables, like that, memory limits and all. See, from the name itself we understand it represents, the memory which is being used by the particular process. So it includes the information of like a page, tables, memory limits, like that. The next information stored in the process control block is accounting information. So this accounting information, what is it? It keeps the account of the certain things so that the resources used by the particular process such as CPU, time, memory, like that. So the amount of CPU used for process execution and the time limit, etc. So everything will be stored in the accounting information. The next information is I/O status information. So this includes a list of I/O devices assigned to the current process. So list of I/O devices assigned to the current process. See, example, if the current process is running, okay, if the current process, that is the current running process is using, the current process is using a printer or memory or a processor, whatever it is, okay, your current process is using printer, memory and processor, then it contains a list of 3 devices. What are they? Printer, memory and the processor. So these information, these I/O information will be stored in this PCB. Yes, so these informations will be stored in the PCB. This is regarding a